Well, it's Monday. What can you say? Today I'm going to read you one of my short stories, primarily for children, but it was based on an idea I had when I was a child, which was you could wear a coat and fly. It didn't really take off. Sorry. So this is called Sid's Magic Coat. Once upon a time, when everybody went to school and lunches tasted great, that is, except for Fridays when pilchards were served, Sid sat alone at the back of the classroom. He had lost his homework. He'd dropped his book in the puddle whilst running to kick a football. He tripped and he fell onto the gravel. He scraped his knee and felt very sorry for himself. The teacher had naturally told him off, but Sid really didn't listen. He saw the lips move and heard mumbles of yak, 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 yak. But inside his head, he could hear a voice saying, "Don't worry, let's fly out of here." How can I do that, thought Sid. His coat wriggled on the peg and an arm waved at him. "Put me on, come on, let's go." So Sid stood up, walked over to his damp coat and quietly put it on, doing up all the buttons, even the top one. "Better make sure it won't come off," he said with a sort of strangled thought, for it was just too tight for comfort. He always refused to do his top button up when his mum asked him to. "It's not cool," he'd say. "No," she said, "it's not cool and you'll be cold and I don't want you catching your death with pneumonia." The coat twitched and vibrated and then, without making a noise, lifted Sid off the floor and out through the open window. Whoosh! And the next second he was perched on a cloud. Sid couldn't believe his eyes. This school looked very small. Even the teachers looked as small as ants. I could stamp on them all and then we could play all day. The coat took a mighty breath and hurled through the sky, going as fast as a train. Down below, the land turned to sea, and then huge waves tried to jump up with long arms and catch him. And Sid went faster and then shot upwards to the stars. The sea vanished, the land vanished, and the world became a very small dot. Onwards he flew for what seemed like an hour. Then as quickly he took off, he stopped. "Where are we?" "Here," said the coat. "Where's here?" said Sid. "Here," said the coat again. "Right here." Sid looked around. It was dark in the sky, but where he's standing it was lit up like a football pitch, and he heard crowds cheering and then a whistle blew. Next minute he was running with a football in front of him, and he kept on dodging and stopping and running forward, and the ball stayed just in front of his foot. He took aim and kicked the ball. It flew up around the stadium twice, then it flew right in between the goalposts. The crowd cheered loudly, and he had scored a goal. His homework came floating down in torn strips to the ground. "More, more," the crowd chanted. Sid looked around, and the crowd had vanished. He heard a rumble of gushing water, somewhere in the distance, but getting louder by the second. There, in front of him, was a huge, angry wave aiming straight for Sid. He ran and the wave chased him. Then it completely soaked him and he was drenched. Coughing and spluttering, he wiped his eyes, and the coat seemed to be giggling. "My coat's laughing at me," said Sid, somewhat scared. The giggling became louder. It became a louder laugh, and then the giant's guffaw, and then, very, very loudly, turned into a menacing bellow. "Sid! Sid! Sid!" Sid jumped out of his seat and nearly fell to the ground in fright. "What? Pardon? Oh, help! Oh, where am I?" He looked around the classroom and felt the teacher staring over him. "Asleep in class? Whatever next?" "Oh, please, sir," said Sid. "I was playing football in space, and then my homework rained down on me, and it all shredded up, and then I was soaked by a massive wave." "Really?" said the teacher. "Well, that'll teach you for running too fast and not taking care of your homework." The coat gave a shrug, and you could just hear a little titter of spitefulness bounce off the school corridor and vanish into the midday sun. The end.